Hey collective, it's Anne Marie. I hope all of you are doing well. It's Monday. I went and got a massage today after work, so I'm feeling that didn't look loosey goosey, but it is. I had to really work on my lower back, boy. From walking all the time at work and that fall I had a couple weeks ago. It almost took your girl out. Anyway, I thought we'd pull some cards and get some messages of clarity for those who like it. And I found out the lady who gives me massages lives not too far from where I was at this weekend. Isn't that cool? No such thing as coincidences. So we have giraffe reflection. If you are facing a difficult situation, do not rush into making a decision. You are advised to turn the problem around in all possible manners before deciding. You are advised to, turn the problem around in all possible manners before deciding on a solution. Your circumstances need to be examined carefully. I give a message last week about looking at things from a different. That was for forgiveness, but there's various situations or difficult situations you're having in your life. And it's like before you make a quick decision, it's looking at, I'm surprised we don't have the hawk here. Of course, we have crow at the bottom. There's a transition coming as well. And we have Scorpio on the bottom of the deck too. New beginnings, that's what I'm talking about. So there's a major transition and new beginnings that are coming your way, right? And it's still important for you to sit back and reflect on this through all stages of it. There may be some transitions that may be a little bit more challenging than you expected them to be. But this is a transition. How can I say this? So I'm not trying to sound negative, but I don't sugarcoat. This transition is not a transition that you're truly desiring. This new beginning is. There's a new beginning coming out of this. So with this transition, we put the transition first. There's Jesus, I can't get it out because I'm talking too fast. There's a transition that is coming. There may be an ending of a connection. It says which part of your life may or may need to go through a transition. Maybe you are changing relationships, careers, or cities. Whatever it is, the crow is signaling that you are ready to make this change. So like I said, this transition is coming. It may not be a transition that you want or desired, or you want a different outcome. That's what Spirit is saying. It's time for you to reflect and have a bird's eye view. We can make transitions more challenging in our life, or we can make them more easier in our life. Take what resonates. It's all about our perception of the transition that's happening. Because a Scorpio's here. Thank you, Scorpio. There's a new beginning that's on the horizon. In order for this new beginning to happen, there's some transition that needs to happen. And it's going to require you to have a bird's eye view to look at this transition, not necessarily as a bad thing, but how going through this transition is going to benefit you in the end. Is this transition going to be a little uncomfortable? Yeah. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be something, it's going to be something that you may want to fight. You may want to buck back at, right? You may want to. But it's important to look at the variables and the reasoning behind this transition that needs to happen in order for this new beginning to come. So the Scorpio card says you are invited to instigate change, but you're also being warned that this transformation may be radical. Well, get rid of everything in your current life that can prevent you from improving. Based on this principle, destroy before rebuilding. That's what it is. Destroy before rebuilding. You are promised a beneficial rebirth. So that's what it is. It's like there's something that needs to be destroyed. This transition is going to be destroying some things. Old relationships, old connections. You're transitioning from toxic connections and reflecting how these toxic connections, I'm trying to put this all together, how these toxic connections are preventing you from having new beginnings, how these toxic jobs, or how you being a people pleaser, or whatever it is. But it's like really looking at it from a bird's eye view. How is this transition, whatever needs to end for you, right? How is the lack of not having the ending preventing you from having these new beginnings? It's really the Scorpios. We know the Scorpio is the only sign that has a bunch of different stages to it, right? And the Scorpio is also, we know, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, right? And so in order for this new beginning to come, this new rebirth to come, if you will, there needs to be a transition of truly recognizing that these toxic people, these toxic family members, or can continue to have like friends in your life that co-sign your bullshit all the time. Or maybe it's certain beliefs that you have about yourself or society or about whatever it is that need to be deaded as well. I mean, so take what resonates. Only you know what this is in your life that needs to die, if you will, for lack of better words. What part of your life needs to go through a transition, How can you look at this transition a different way? If I'm people pleasing all the time, how can I have a new beginning in this area? Emotions. I just heard emotions. Okay. I was hearing like the emotions that are attached to people pleasing, but we're not going to get on that. So people pleasing may be a thing for you. Do we need to know anything more about this new beginning or this transition? Examine your circumstances very carefully. Some things are not what they appear to be in your life. I've seen a bunch of circles for some reason. You may have been in certain connections or friendships or family groups or even a pattern for some time. And so it's going to require you to kind of break out of that pattern that you've been in. Why is it for this, Spirit? This has to do with your inner child, your innocence. You may have experienced, before you're 12 years old, I know it's kind of broad, before you were turned 12, there was possibly a lot of essaying, or you were in foster care, or like some major, a messy divorce of your parents, being left, abandoned is what I'm seeing. So your inner child is trying to reconnect with you in order to become more playful. So you can have a greater sense of wonder. What does this inner child have to? That's the sheep. So your innocence can be restored in this new beginning. Okay. So your innocence can be restored in the new beginning. It's like the Scorpio, but it's like this rebirth. It's almost like you're given a chance to start over, starting from childhood. Does that make sense? That's interesting. We're at 8 minutes. This is an interesting message. I'm just going with it. Yeah, it's going to reignite your passion. We have a dragon here. Crow, giraffe, Scorpio, sheep, dragon. So the dragons here remind you that you have strong will and you have a fiery personality. You're being asked to practice self-control and be cautious so that your passion does not lead you into trouble. Maybe this is what the transition is that needs to happen, to have more emotional self-control and reflect. And reflect on why this, I keep going back, I'm sorry I'm almost out of time. Reflecting on why this transition is needed in your life, but having a higher perspective of it. It's not just, well, I need to stop being around toxic people so I don't attract toxic people. It's, no, look at it from all sides of how the toxicity affects you in all areas of your life. How from a child, you learned how to be comfortable in toxic situations. So there's inner child healing that needs to happen here in order for this new beginning. That's why the reflection's here. I know this message will reach you. It needs to. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I just give the messages. I hope you're healthy and happy. I truly do. And full of joy. May you love and be loved. Heal. Don't harm. Have an amazing rest of the night.